Good morning. We are Epsilon Enterprises, and here we'll show you a quick video of the main injury that happens within the workspace.
Hey, Bridget. How
Hey.
you doing today?
I'm good.
Hey, that looks heavy. Let me give you your hand so you don't hurt yourself.
What makes you think I can't do it myself?
I'm just saying it looks heavy. I would say that to anybody, not just you.
Oh, my, ow!
You all
Oh,
right?
my back!
So here we see statistics that OSHA provided on their website. OSHA being Occupational Safety and Health Administration. 33% of these injuries consist of sprain and strains, whether it's from lack of equipment or a wrong technique. Another 17% is the soreness and pain. These two combined are a total of 50% of total injuries within the workspace in 1 year in just the United States. So we have our interview insights. These two are the most influential of our interviews. We have Safety Sailor, which he gave us some details on some of the injuries that happened within UTEP. He said that a total of 11 sprains and strains happen on average in a year. This consists of 50% of injuries that happen at UTEP. And sprains and strains have proven to be a stubborn problem since they're generally the highest injury within a year. Our other interview was Grounds Gregory. He provided a really good quote, "Sometimes we are hurting ourselves without even realizing it." He also mentioned how there's always things to improve when it comes to safety. And this helped us get with our concept generation.
And after conducting a couple of interviews and really trying to get to know our people group, this is when we decided to start getting a bunch of ideas, start writing them down, put on a board, make it a little bit more visually appealing for us, because that usually gets the mind going a little bit. So after we wrote down a ton of ideas, didn't matter if they were crazy or they just seemed impossible, didn't matter, any type of idea. After we had a pretty big list, we started seeing a trend, and we decided to see if we could maybe break them up into different categories. And that's what we did here. After we had those categories and different types of ideas, that's when we decided to see if there was any sort of connection between the ideas that we had already came up with. This brings us into the top 5 ideas that we had. We decided to pick these top 5s because they were the most visually appealing, the most desirable, viable, and feasible. So we had decided to break down these 5 products with the different 5 different criterias that we came up with, and with help from our interviews. As you guys can see, we had the back brace and the stabilizer boots. They were actually tied, but we decided that it was a little bit more feasible to make a back brace rather than a stabilizer boot. Obviously, our product is going to bring a lot of value to the table. And some of the things that we offer as a company to you is for facility employees who sprain or strain their back, our external lifting assist device will prevent these injuries by increasing back support.
All right, so what does happen when that external lifting assist device is put into action? So here we have a black box diagram as well as a function diagram that shows the energy inputs of both the system and the users that show how an item is lifted, how that item interacts with someone, the energy that's dispersed around them, and how the back brace is helping the actual user move the item from place to place. And so what does this item look like, right? This item, we pictured it looking like this, right? We created a 3D render of it and started prototyping. The reason why we started prototyping is that we wanted it to get it to your users. So we have and get it to users and have user feedback, right? So our first iteration kind of just had back brace with some like external back support, as well as a harness that had lifting straps that would help the user easily be able to grab awkwardly sized items, as well as move them around with the partner, right? So once we showed this, we got a couple different responses. Obviously both good and bad. So from the first response, they really enjoyed that we were trying to push back braces, mainly because they're talking about how many people bring back braces to the workplace and it's not part of PPE. And we thought, oh, that's crazy. That's not part of PPE, right? Like it seems like it'd be useful. And then we got some other insights, right? From Cool Carl, he was saying that the reason why they strain away from back braces is because they cause a false sense of security and people think they can lift anything, right? So obviously that's not good. We don't want people to create false identities. But another thing that he also liked is that they like to lift in duos, and this back brace highly enforced lifting with duos. Like the video that we started out with, it's not a good idea to lift heavy stuff on your own. But how do we stop? How do we know what our lifting limit is, right? So from that, we found this chart about manual handling weight limits from the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health. They use an equation called the NIOSH lifting equation, where it basically calculates within reason the maximum amount someone is able to lift while remaining completely safe. On average, they found that weight limit, when being held around where the harness is going to be held, close to the body, around shoulder length, around elbow height, it's going to be close to 50 kilograms, right? So yeah.
And with all these insights, all these design, we took this and created some specifications that we would model around the device and use this for example, the fitment of the device so that it could fit every worker and accommodate their body. So you can have a range from size extra small all the way up to size 2 or 3 XL. Also making sure that each worker had enough mobility with the device so that they could still move in every direction, be comfortable in it. Very importantly, be able to load the capacity required, but also not exceed it, so they do not feel like they are able to lift a lot more than they should be lifting. Also, with that back plate, ensuring that they do not have excessive spine curvature, which could lead to a potential injury in the future if they were to not be careful with that. And some other things that we took into account were a analysis of every component that could fail on the device. It could fail through just general wear and tear. It could fail through other items such as weakness in a component. So we took all these things into account and considered the severity of it, the occurrence of it, and how we could keep this controlled and make sure it was not a major issue for all of the users. And comparing this to other products on the market, you see here are two options. On the left, you have a traditional back brace. You have most of the area on the waist, some slight straps on the back going through the shoulders. And then on the right, you have some lifting straps for 2 people together. These are commonly referred to as forearm forklifts. And these, you can see, you use a lot of force on your forearms and you lift through that, and there's nothing holding you back. So what we are aiming to do is put the best of these 2 components together into one design, similar to what you see here on this prototype. So you see here that we have the brace at the waist level, and we also have the straps with a full design on the back that is not shown, and also the straps to another user that are connected and can hold a heavy object with ease. And on the right, you see a video of something that is integrated into the straps, which lets you know how much weight you're carrying. And if the label indicates that you're carrying too much weight, you should be careful of that. And that is something that we aim to do to help reduce the injuries and help better the quality of work for the workers at UTEP through this product. Thank you.